Hello, my lovely Libra friends, and those who have interest in this video. You don't have to be a Libra. Also, a lot of readers and astrologers talk about how these readings can resonate with you, even if your moon sign is in Libra, or your Venus is in Libra, or your rising sign is Libra. While I do agree with all of that, I just don't really feel the need to say it all the time. Because, I just feel like that's true for everybody. You're going to be drawn to what you're drawn to. So, welcome, Libra. Making decisions about big life changes, maybe. This is for the full moon reading from Halloween, which was yesterday. So, October 31st through November 15th. Well, we got all kinds of the same sort of action here. So, what's going on? I think you've got something new going on. You're probably aware of it, and it's probably already in the works. Maybe a new job or opportunity within your career, a reshuffling of career, or something to do with like your life passion. Maybe you're moving to a new city, something like that. Big new ventures. Maybe your partner or spouse has a promotion or something, some kind of new, maybe new artwork, new line of something being released, and you're experiencing success with this. So whether it's a new job or something going on in your life, you have probably already been told that you're getting it, or you have a good feeling that you're getting it. So it's kind of like you already know the direction that you're going in, and you've been moving towards that direction, and it's successful for you. I think you are aware of that, and it's going to continue to be successful. I think what you're not so sure about, and maybe have been worried about, is this going to like result in the way I want it to? Am I going to be tired from this? I feel like, is this going to be draining? Is this really like the right choice for me? But I think that you'll find, or am I going to get through this? Okay, because to me this card represents a return of energy. It talks about energy on the bottom. To me, it feels like a return of energy. So through this project or through this new venture in your life, it will like replenish your energy, and you'll find that the energy just keeps coming to continue in it. So this is talking about relationships. Someone's going to propose, something like that, or your relationship if you are together or are married or just not interested in marriage at this time, or you're going to be entering into a new relationship. There's very positive energy surrounding relationships here. And like we have a little messenger fellow. This is the earth sign, right? And Page of Crystals, the earth sign. So I feel like this is someone communicating themselves. So whether this is someone proposing or talking more about their feelings, or you're exploring new territory within your relationship, new boundaries, whether that's, intimacy or like friendship or like things that you do together and separately. I feel like there's just an exploration going on within your relationship. And whether or not you're doing it together, it's happening to both of you, and you are probably communicating about it and going through it together, even if it might be two separate sort of things. Like maybe you're both exploring things about your individual selves that you never had a chance to, or never felt like you had a chance to, or never had the environment and stuff or supportive partner enough, and now you do, to support you in being yourself. So I feel like this is a really stable place in your relationship where you feel stable in your relationship, and you feel stable as people to start exploring yourselves, because you have this safety net of a very strong relationship. So you feel comfortable at this point anyway. It may not always have been this way, but it feels like you're very comfortable now with exploring new territory within the relationship and without it. So that might mean introducing a third party or something like that, or dating other people, or just having more friendship, different kind of friendship. Um, Couples, like a couple therapy or something, kind of, not therapy, but like bonding. And but also I feel like it's good exploration time for you, and this is probably more important for you in the relationship, Libra, to go explore yourself some more. Now's the time that you have that balance within the relationship to do that, because there's nothing really to lose. It's just more of a figuring out process for you. Yes, I think you're probably already finding this, but allow your mind to transform and allow like things, new realizations to come. I think you'll find like new realizations coming within these next 2 weeks up to through November 15th. And if you do get new ideas, I'll try to remember this in the new moon reading, but try to plant some seeds around the middle of November for what it might look like to bring some of these ideas to real life and bring your dreams into reality. What would it look like? What kind of resources would you need? And things like that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You've got like all steam ahead for you, Libra, in your creative endeavors. Use your imagination and your creativity, your mental stamina to um, be able to create anything. Like, as you can see balance in so many things, Libra. This is giving me a positive sign to go for it. Whatever idea you have, whether it's taking the job, or I feel like this is like an art kind of project or something to create, go for it. And remember that you have lots of ideas and to play around with those. And when you feel like you have a great idea and you know that exciting feeling, go straight for it because you have a lot of energy of support behind you, especially when it comes to your creative drive. So if you're exploring that, I feel like you are supported energetically and probably with people around you. This you're going through a transformative process. I feel like you're really finding yourself through this new thing. This new avenue is allowing you new insights on yourself, and and now I think okay. This is interesting. I think you're starting to see yourself in general Libra as the Libra sign characteristics. Generally speaking, I think you're starting to see the positive aspects of yourself. And maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like you see that now. So this is interesting to me because all of the signs so far that I've done, I feel like the insecurity is a common thread with all of the readings has been an insecurity, and the common thread of that insecurity has always been through each reading um, an insecure an insecurity about the feelings, general characteristics of the general zodiac sign that I'm reading for. So that's really interesting because I don't really feel like you're insecure anymore. Maybe you used to be about your behavior or the way that you would approach things or not approach things. Um, Libra tend to see both sides, so sometimes it can be hard to be find the self, and it can also be hard to make choices because you can see a lot of things. I feel like maybe you're coming to the place where you see yourself more fully, and you're embracing that, and you're not really seeing that as a negative so much anymore, and that's really great news. And through all this, you're going to be transforming. So I feel like it is talking about this. I feel like it has to do with art. So let's dive into what is this project? What is this about? Some kind of messenger or opportunity has come to you. Like maybe someone in a field of business that you're interested in. Maybe some kind of mentor figure or someone that you look up to or someone that's successful. It doesn't even have to be someone that you actually like, but it probably is someone that has a positive influence to you. It's like you're afraid that you can't bring this into fruition or that people won't understand, or it's kind of like you don't believe in your drive to create. Trust your intuition. I feel like you do, but I feel like you don't trust that your intuition can bring you into reality. See, okay, here we go. We're getting somewhere here. This will help you guys out through this process. Definitely trust your intuition. I feel like you probably already do that. Even if you don't say that and say those words out loud or think them, I feel like you have a good understanding of what I'm saying there. So definitely trust that and be sensitive to the way you feel and the way that that can help you, and just in general, what can help you right now through this situation. Because I feel like there's a lack of belief in actually obtaining what it is you want to create. Like, I think you believe in yourself, but I think that you feel like maybe the financial resources aren't there, or the physical material or environment isn't as conducive as it could be, and maybe it might seem difficult or something along those lines. What's going to help you is trusting your gut and trusting your intuition and feelings and following that like normal. And also, like, follow your feelings, follow things that make you feel happy. So, when you know, like, if you reach an idea or you reach a conversation or somebody emails you or you reach out to someone about potentially putting a piece of art up in their store or something kind of some kind of business excuse me interaction, some kind of step forward. Anything that you're doing or thinking about, if an idea pops up, if you feel good about it, if you feel happy, if it makes you feel kind of like a child, we have the turtle here. It feels like new romance. It feels like that bubbly light feeling. So trust that feeling, and that's going to help you feel better in general. And also, it's going to help fine tune your intuitive senses. And you'll find that if you follow the impulses that make you feel happy in this endeavor, especially, that it will lead you to places that you couldn't really expect. Yeah, you really need to unbridle this feeling of the creative, whatever it is you're trying to do. You need to really let it completely wild. I would just say that in these words, wild and free, like a wild um, traveler, like a wild independent woman. And but I'm talking like the image I get is like wild woman, kind of like a wild person, but it doesn't have to be like savage like in the Game of Thrones. But it's like someone who's completely free and in touch with nature and has no like someone like that has no social structure boundaries, so they're not really considering all the time like they're first and foremost considering really they're not really considering anything. There's like this complete release of restriction, and that's kind of what I'm getting with this card and feeling for you. Like we have the deer here, it looks like, so just frolic forward and enjoy yourself and have like the deer that frolics in an open field has nothing that's holding it back, and it just kind of easily leaps to the places that it wants to go. So if you think about that in a light, airy way, yeah, you're definitely supported in this. Maybe you're aware of that, maybe you're not. But you're supported, and maybe you don't feel supported. Or maybe it's just that you're kind of critiquing everything so much that you don't really have time or awareness really to put too much on what other people are thinking. So either you're not thinking about it, or it's a misguided perspective you have about what people are actually thinking about you and what you're doing or what you might be doing. Goodness, this seems important. This came out very intensely. Okay. Yeah, this was the one that came up first, wasn't it? Okay. I think you want to make this choice and go in this direction. Maybe you're afraid to because it will change a lot of things for you. Maybe it's a change of relationship. Maybe it's a change of career. Maybe it's a change of like culture that you belong to, like subculture. It could be like a religious thing. You could be leaving a church. You could be leaving a town or something like that. And it's not so much like leaving behind something. It might seem that way to other people, and it might feel like the transformation process for you. You have the chameleon here, the tower. You're going through quite a bit of crumbling, and maybe you're aware of that already, or maybe you're afraid to go in a direction because it's going to cause a lot of transformation, which could seem like a lot of destruction or crumbling, like ending of relationships, ending of friendships, ending of approval, perceived approval by certain groups of people in a work environment or like a church-like environment kind of thing. Maybe you decided to go to a different congregation. Maybe you are exploring other types of beliefs. Maybe you're finding that you're not spiritual or religious at all. Maybe you've been atheist a long time and you're considering new things. But either way, whatever direction you're going in, it's a different direction, and I feel like that's causing the hesitation within you to move forward. So I get that. I think you should move forward when you feel comfortable and understand that it is going to be a process. And like the chameleon, you can always adapt, especially you Libra, because you have an understanding of a lot of many sides of things, and you understand the relationship between things primarily. So that's really helpful for you. And remember that. And remember that when you're going through this process, even though things might be falling around you, things that might be really disapproving, or like you're losing things, that gut wrenching feeling of loss. You might be going through things like that. You might be going through periods now and in the next month or so, where people are judging you if you're doing artwork or something and it's out on display, or if you're making some kind of bold move, whatever it is that you're doing, people are probably going to be judging you for it, and you're aware of that. And I think that's making you pretty tense and hesitant, and that's okay. But just remember that you can decide to do whatever you want to do, whether it's go down this path or not. But I think that you definitely will. It's up to you to decide when you feel comfortable doing that. And when you do, and as you do go through that, you can be like the chameleon and shift and match your environment. Realize that it is a process, and change little by little, and realize that you're in a continual process of change. So if things are not going well for you, or if you're losing things, if you lost money or a job in this process, or it's kind of like you're losing a lot, but you feel like you know where you're going. It just might not be clear that what's coming is actually coming, even though you might believe that you have success coming to you. So just remember to be adaptive and adaptable, flexible throughout this process, and that like the chameleon, you can endure any environment. That's kind of the message of the chameleon. It can change to any environment. It's very adaptable. And if you look at the eyes too, they're independently moving. Also significant of balance with the Libra, because not only or we all have two eyes, so there's a balance there, but they move independently. So that is another denotion, connotation towards the Libra ability to see many multiple sides and measure them fully in the relationship. Like if you think about the way that the eyes of the chameleon swivel, and they might not always work together, but so it might be looking at two different things, but it's analyzing, and there's a relationship with the way the eyes swivel, if that makes sense. So there's this movement, flexibility. So not only is there the interdependence, so they both have independence, they can move. There is that swivel aspect, which denotes flexibility and ability to see many different sides of one scenario, for example. If that makes sense, I think it does. We have Queen of Shells. I'm getting a sense of feeling of unworthiness here, or like a stifling of emotion. So like I feel like you want to be happy and expressive and passionate about what you do, and almost to the point of like making people almost like annoying people with it, or like you just want to be kind of like childlike and free, but you're holding yourself back. I think you're judging yourself, maybe. Maybe you don't feel worthy of this praise, but you are. Maybe you don't feel worthy of what it is you're trying to attain, but you are worthy of it, and you are capable. I think you know that you're capable. I just get this feeling of self-doubt. Yeah. What are you feeding yourself that's poison? And most of the time, from what I was just talking about just now, it's going to be coming in the form of, during these 2 weeks, thought. Like, watch out for venomous thoughts, poisonous thoughts. And then also know that these are all that they are is poison. And once you identify them, they are very easy to remove. Whenever you find thoughts and behaviors, it's just easy to focus your mind on new thoughts and new behaviors. So that's the message with this, is that there are going to be things within your person and psyche that are, I just want to say it this way, it's able to be removed. Okay, so I don't want to put any kind of connotations on it, but there's going to be things that you might look out for that don't belong, that don't serve you, that are actually poisonous thoughts. And watch the things you say. Things like, just be on the lookout these next 2 weeks. Catch yourself and see if you find yourself saying any kind of words or phrases that would be belittling to your self-worth. And I think you might find that that comes up a little bit during the next 2 weeks. And when it does, if it does, don't worry about it. Just remember that it's poison, and poison can be removed pretty easily. In today's world, there's very few things that can't be addressed within a long period of time. Even there's certain poisons that act fast, but even those have many forms of treatment that are basically, if you catch it in time, no problems at all. So the point of the message with the Venom card was to say that it's okay if you notice things, just withdraw them from your person, as a doctor would withdraw them from you. Oh, that's weird, because that just drew me to leeches, and I had a dream, I don't know if it was last night, it was probably a few nights ago, where there was leeches in, was I in like a swimming pool? I don't know, that's just really bizarre. But I get the feeling like it's kind of like having a leech, but in a positive way. I mean, they did used to use them medicinally, but I don't really know if that is very effective. But the idea is to withdraw, like have something that feeds off of that. Like I need help with that. I guess I don't. One way in particular that I would suggest that I find is very helpful for me. There are many ways you can do this. You can cleanse your energy by sending it to the earth. So if you think about like how a parasite feeds off something, the parasite continues to need something. So it continues to need to produce something from you. So within your mind, if you have a poison or a parasite, let's say, poisonous thought behavior pattern that keeps repeating itself on some kind of cyclical pattern um, throughout time, especially, then or it repeats, you know. It doesn't matter how often, it can be not often or it can be every day. Um, those things are generated within and they need to be continuously produced in order to feed the mechanism of the parasite. So the poison has to like the parasite that needs it needs the continuation. So like the poison gets in your system, the poisonous thought, and we could get into that. There are possible things that can feed off of that kind of energy, but we're not. This whole conversation isn't really about that so much. But I'm not afraid to bring it up because it is a thing. But I don't want it to be something that we're afraid of. But just in the idea of this, that when you have the stewing of poisonous thought and negative, lower anger, things like that, really low self worth. I myself have been through that. Things and energy can feed off of that, and it can cause you to easily continue that pattern, and also in your own living and experience. If you are focused on that, it causes you to want to continue that momentum as well, whether or not you consciously in your soul actually want to continue it or not. If you focus on it and you're worried about it, let's say, um, it can continue the process. If it's all that's on your mind, if you keep playing the record, nothing ever works out for me, for example. I would recommend to you, I've been giving recommendations for these readings. I'd recommend Abraham Hicks, that's Hicks, on YouTube. You can find plenty of free material. They sell books, but there's plenty of free material, audio material on YouTube. And they are masters of vibration and feeling and moving up the emotional scale. Yeah, I think it's time for you to explore the more ethereal side of things, your intuitive side, the emotional scale. I would recommend watching some of those Abraham Hicks videos because they go through audience members' questions and things like that, and they address vibration. And I feel like that's going to be really important for you right now to kind of uncover this mask of like, I know that I'm more than my body. I know that there's more going on in this world than like having a 9 to 5 job or whatever, success materially speaking, and that's all fine. But I think that you'll find that at the end of the day, all that stuff can be taken away, first of all. And I feel like you're not really getting much, and I think you're kind of wanting to destroy the mask, actually. You're tired of being superficial, and you've kind of made this commitment not to do anything that goes against your true nature anymore. I think what's going to help you is something like those Abraham Hicks videos, maybe watching psychic medium shows, any kind of like thing that could be potentially entertaining but also open your mind to new possibilities. You can check out books. I would suggest like philosophy books like Khalil Gibran's The Prophet, something along those lines. Um, Bertrand Russell has a collection of writings. Carl Jung has really interesting writings. Whatever you feel drawn to, I just feel like you should go towards mystical things like that card was saying. And look, here we go. I just pulled up the shaman card. So I feel like this is definitely a time period for you to be thinking about avenues that you want to explore, whether that's new religions or new concepts of thought, or just things like tarot cards or energy work, healing work, going to see a Reiki practitioner, starting more meditation or new meditation practices, starting yoga practices. I feel like this is all really important for you right now. Was that all? I feel like I was kind of finishing up on something. Oh, sending energy into the earth. Because like a parasite eats and consumes something, this is a little different, but it kind of works the same. Like you can send your energy into the earth. So as I was describing in my Halloween video, channeling video, I was talking about how like, or maybe it wasn't even me, I might have been channeling. But anyway, someone was talking about being born into the earth and you're connected to the earth. So like anybody who's born here, born as a human on the earth, is automatically connected and literally of the earth, you know? Particles of like dust, it's like all material and it all comes from here. You're literally connected to the earth, like a tree is rooted in the ground. And in the video, they were talking about how we're all connected that way. Because we're all, and in a way, the guest was talking about how since you are connected to the earth, you're basically the whole earth itself. Um, and that connects you to everyone on it also. And anyway, I feel like it'd be good for you, Libra, to send energy and clear energy. And a good way to do that is sending it into the earth. So when you find, like, if you find poisonous thoughts, for example, you can always ask for assistance if you believe in God or angels or Jesus or anything like that, Mother Mary, even aliens. If you believe in anything like that, all you have to do is ask for help, and there are beings, consciousness, energy, all kinds of things ready for your asking. Because anything that is there to help you is not going to insert itself and meddle into your experience when it's not for your benefit. Now, there are rare occasions when angels will interfere if it's not your time to die, let's say. There have been really weird things that have happened to people. Sometimes people feel things. They feel like people, like someone pulled them aside from something, like a wreck, or kept them from going. I was hearing someone talk about being flown through the windshield, and I don't know if it was a channeling session or what, but they were being told, or something was along the lines of angels were validating that they were present during that accident for them, and that, you know, anyone wouldn't have survived that. You know, it would have been fatal for anybody. But there are times when spirits and energy and consciousness can interfere, but it's not really interference, because if that was not your time to go, then it wasn't your time to go, and you're just not going to go. If it was your time to go, whether you know or accept that or others do or not, doesn't really matter. It was your time to go. So if you have a strong desire within yourself, the angels and stuff can't override that. It kind of works the same way with permission. They're not going to just insert their whatever it is that they know will benefit you without your asking. It's all about your point of focus, and you have to kind of sit with that and come to terms with deciding, what do I want and what kind of help do I want. So it's okay to ask for help, and you can also clear yourself, like I was saying, by feeding the earth, because the earth knows what to do with that energy. It's not like a parasite. The parasite needs to feed off that particular low energy, and if it doesn't, the parasite dies. So it needs to be produced over and over. That's why poisonous thoughts, in addition to your momentum, keep growing and growing and growing. And if you try to go away from that, like people who are recovering from addictions or trying to leave toxic relationships, abusive relationships, it's very difficult, because you have to go against all of that things that you have learned, picked up along your way, and the parasite will start to die, and that hurts, you know. Even if we want that parasite to die, it hurts. It's very painful. So it's like, it's much easier to just keep feeding the parasite, much easier to just give in, right? So instead of doing that, you can feed the energy into the earth. The earth knows what to do with it. It is a consciousness itself. It is alive and well. If you see, it grows life all the time, and the plates move. It's really not that difficult of a concept to imagine that the planet is alive itself. It is, and it's always constantly changing and moving and breathing, just like a human being. The body, it's a being in and of itself. Especially with you, Libra, because you're an air sign. You can also do this through the air. It's definitely, if you do this through the air, you want to do this outside, because you want to be in an open space, because energy is very fluid and it can go anywhere. It can also influence other people. It's easy to send into the earth. to do that, you can use a grounding cord, or imagining like an energy tube, a root system, anything that feels comfortable for you, but whatever way to physically visualize a connection from the root of your body, like spine, connecting into through the bottom of your feet down to the core of the planet. This is just a visual representation to get you to activate the energy body within you and that connection relationship with the earth, visualizing the physical elements and in a physical manner, and going through the visualization process helps enable that energy that otherwise you would just assume is not real or not present. So it helps connect you with that energy. You can use that method to send energy, and imagine like you're flushing it down a drain. You can actually, I will say this to you, when you go to the bathroom, you can release negative energy that way, no matter what bathroom you're going, number one or number two. If you release tension with it, more actually energy can be released with the conscious effort, because the processes of the body to remove waste are more than just physical. So you can actually utilize the processes of the body naturally that remove and reduce waste to also combine with reduction of unneeded waste in the mind, energy, emotion, and body. You can also do the same thing in the shower time. It's really helpful. Running water, that's why it's helpful to be outside. You want motion, right? It's easy with the grounding, because if you send it to the core of the earth, you really don't have to worry about it that much. It's kind of like flushing. Just flush it down, let it go. The earth knows what to do with it. It's kind of a centralized grounding process. It's pretty easy. And it kind of just involves you. Whenever you're involved in the atmosphere, air, you can influence other people, because other people are walking around in that air. If you're outside, it really doesn't do anything, because the atmosphere is so big, you know. And if you have the intention to just release this into the air to be recycled, this is the idea, just like within the earth. You do the same thing in the shower. The motion, the movement of water, especially like rain or dropping of water, like in a shower. You can do it in a bath too, it doesn't matter. But the movement of water is helpful. You can move the energy along, especially with your intention of focus. This is a good time to be doing this during the full moon period in Taurus, taking care of the self and the body especially. And with water, it's a water sign, or it's a feminine sign, I mean, Taurus. So like you take the feelings and the energy, and you just, like you're washing your body, you cleanse and wash your aura, or your energy, or the bad vibes or whatever, and you allow them, you picture them, and you don't have to visualize it, you can just know it or think about it, but visualize all that energy just being rinsed down your body and down into the drain. It's a very easy way to do that. You can also do things by fire. You can write things down and burn them. You can also fire gaze. But really, cleansing through fire involves burning. So obviously, for people, the best thing to do is burning things like parchment, paper. So if something's bothering you, write it down and burn it. But only things that you're really, really ready to be released. Okay, you don't want to be burning things that you are holding resentment on or anger towards, because that might harbor more. It might highlight things in yourself and experiences that further feed those flames. You just want to be careful. I would suggest fire the least for you. But just in the same way though, the sun, fire, you can set most stones to be cleansed out into the sunlight or moonlight. Sunlight can be harsh on certain stones, but you can also cleanse them in the sunlight. Some of them, a lot of them, and in that kind of way, things can be bathed in sunlight. People talk about being bathed in sunlight. It's a very positive, nourishing, cleansing experience. So that is a way to use fire also. Tanning. We are entering in North America the winter season, so it might not be so easy. Be easy with yourself. This is a discovery period for you, Libra. So you're gonna find like lots of things. And enjoy the nectar of life. Like, get the juiciness out of these moments. Like, find the sweet spots of what you're going through and milk those. And anything else, leave it in the flower. If you don't want to involve that in your batch of honey, leave it in that flower, because you don't have to take it with you. You don't have to take it with you. Abraham Hicks will help you with that. Yeah, I think that's good. I think we'll end it there. Actually, there is one more card to draw. Speaking of Abraham Hicks, I have a deck of theirs. This is their relationships deck, vortex deck, and I just feel like, because I feel like I keep recommending Abraham Hicks to you. Let's see if we can get a specific message from them. I feel like maybe one more. So this will give you an idea of them. I'm a really big fan, big student of theirs. One of the reasons I like them so much is because I feel, personally, and they would say the same things, and many people who follow them in their work, and the people who do their work and bring it through, Esther and Jerry Hicks. Jerry Hicks has passed away now. But Esther Hicks, who is the medium, essentially, for these consciousness beings, collective, and they teach pure positive energy. It's basically the same thing as God or Source, just in a verbalized, more form-like version, but it's on the same kind of wavelength of pure positive energy. They teach and they stick to only pure positive energy, and what they work through and with is with people, excuse me, and audiences, and they help people hash out and work through and comb through things they're going through, and they stick to only pure positive vibration, and they teach the laws of the universe, as they call them, and they are standard laws, and so they're very strict about their focus, and so they won't entertain people's problems. They won't wallow with people. They are very adamant about how energy works, and from their point of view. So that's how they work. I like them a lot myself because I feel like they are pure positive energy, and the closest thing really to get to that pure positive general space, where you can, generally speaking, understand things a lot more clear and on a higher, more full encompassing level. So let's see what came up for you. What's interesting to me is first I draw card number 52, then number 51. So that's interesting. This card says, feeling negative emotions means that I'm launching requests. As more people observe hardship and strike a tense, resistant pose, and therefore disallow their own well-being, others use them as their reason to do the same thing. And in a very short time, a very negative pattern of resistance can sweep through your population. The good news in this scenario is that in every moment that every person is feeling negative emotion about the economic state or a journey that you're going through, making changes, vibrational requests for more abundance or that which you're wanting to create are launched. And those requests are heard clearly and responded to immediately by Source or pure positive energy or God or the universe or however you like to see fit. This card says, I can always enter my vibrational vortex of creation. They've termed the terminology vortex to give an imagery idea of something tangible and real because it's vibrational, meaning that it's pure vibration, meaning that this is vibration too, but it has a different form of vibration. The kind of vibration they're talking about with the vortex is not tangible like this, but it is what precedes all tangibility. So everything comes from pure vibration. So they teach this whole thing. Anyway, so when they're talking about vibrational vortex of creation, they're talking about the dreamlike state, the imagination state, the vibration, the intuition, the dreaming, the creating, the passion, creative forces before the physical forces manifest and compile together. So the back of the card says, the key is to getting inside your vibrational vortex of creation, of experiencing the absolute absence of resistance, of achieving complete alignment with all that you have become and all that you desire, and of bringing to your physical experience everything that you desire, is being in the state of appreciation. And there's no more important object of attention to which you must flow your appreciation than that of yourself. So I would recommend that for you, Libra. Appreciate yourself. Start to really look at your life and things you've created, whether it's artwork, beautiful relationships, home life, parent, child, family, where I'd like you to look back on your life and look at how loving you've been to other people and see you can be that loving to yourself, obviously, but also look back on yourself and think about all the good qualities you have. What are the beautiful qualities that you have? And appreciate those, the ones that you feel good about. If you find ones that you don't feel good about, flush them out in the shower, you know? Alright, thanks Libra, that was fun. Happy Halloween, and enjoy the next few weeks.